Hello. Today I'm going to do a little scene which is based on a place near to me, Breen Sands. So we've got the sand in the foreground and we've got some grass work there. Got a little cottage there. I've altered it a little bit, and what I really want to show is a little bit of autumnal sky, autumnal trees over the back, and a real strong stormy sky there. So I'm using for this, my big mop brush is an Skoda Ultimo size 18. I'm going to just wet the back here first, and bring it down there. Now it's got to be a really deep, so I'm using a bit of ultramarine into this dark, I think it's a little bit of Payne's grey, and also a little bit of phthalo, Prussian blue, beg your pardon. So we're going to contrast this deep stormy sky with light at that area, and to give us a little bit of light I'm going to use a little bit of pinkiness over there, only a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, just give us a little bit of colour. We're going to lift some of that out in a bit. So back to the Payne's grey, really dark, bit of Prussian blue under there as well, and let's give it a little bit of mood, a little bit of opera rose there as well. Now what I'm going to do here is just give it a good old shaky, shimmy, bong down there, and bosh it down there, and I'm going to give it an old shake round. Just moving those pigments into each other, yeah? Just moving them into each other. Now then, this part here I want to be quite light, so I'm going to use that little handkerchief and lift out a couple of clouds here, and at the centre point there, and some clouds here. So we've just got a few clouds scooting out of that skyline there. Right, now then, this part here, I'm going to make it a little bit bluier. Just a little bit of interest. Now I'm going to use this a Skoda size 12 Perla Syntetico, just to move that around here. And I'm going to cut into the top of these buildings here. Oh, a nice harsh line there, and you fetch it down there a little bit. Now with a damp brush, a thirsty brush, lift out some of this excess water, excess pigment, bleed, whatever you may call it, and I'm going to just, with a damp clean brush, bring that over to there, just to blend it all in. And we'll do the same here, because we've got some autumnal trees over there. Now then, I don't like the way that's falling down there, because it looks like it's raining, so I'm going to just lift some of these areas out a little bit and move it along to the side, take away that rainy effect. I just want it to be a moody sky. Don't think the rain's started to fall just yet, so now I'm going to add even more darkness over here. make it really dark on this part here. There we go. There we go. And darkest at the top there. This is going to be a proper moody sky, isn't it? Right, we'll move that around. Just move it around there. Right. We'll let that dry a minute. Well, I think we've got a bit of mist on this. Have I? No? Yes, no. Right, let's let that dry for a second. Okay, so I apologise for the really steamy image. It was, I had some moisture in my lens. Might just sort that out now. So back to the picture, eh? We've not really. I don't think it spoiled what we needed to learn. So I'm just going to lift out some of these big blobby areas, and I'm happy with the way all that has worked. So it's come out really nice actually. Now I'm just going to cut that into there with some of this paint to give me that nice flat edge that I was after, and lift that out there. And I'm going to just lift some of that out here. I don't really want a big dark line over the top of there, so I'm just going to lift this out here. Right, well I'm happy with that. Happy with this area. Maybe that part there needs to come out, and as does that part there. So we've got a lovely moody sky now. Now it's time to really let it dry. So back in a minute. Welcome back. Now I'm really pleased with that. That's come out really nice. Got some really dark, strong pigmented areas here, and so nice and dry now. Yeah. Now this area here, we've got these lovely bright clouded areas there, contrasting into the sky at the back there. So what I think we can do now is just emphasize that by, I'm going to get a clean area there actually, because it's got lots of little granulation which I don't really want for this. So a nice clean area, and I'm going to make a little mixture of, let's say, a bit of upper rose and a little bit of cabin yellow. Now then, I'm just going to dilute that quite a bit. Okay, let's see how this fits into here. Okay, now we're going to create like it's like a shadow on the inside of this cloud here. Maybe it's a little bit too rich that, so I'm going to add a bit of water to that, and don't forget this is going to dry 30% lighter. So this is, I'm looking to contrast this colour really. Over here, and I'm going to create a negative shape here where this is going to be lighter here. So now I'm going to lift out this area and just blend it down gently, ever so gently, to the back part here. That's just how I want it. Now, I'm going to do the same with this part as well. Just a little bit of colour over there. We'll bring that right the way down. Let's bring that down. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? I can bring that right the way down there now. Now let's let that dry. Oh, well, no, that's not cloud. They're going to be trees. So let's have a little play with these here. Now, we want autumnal colours, so we still need a little bit of green in this, but we're going to use a little bit of orange and a little bit of this pinky colour here. So let's get the bottom part green. The bottom areas to be green because they've not been affected by the sunlight as much as the top areas, which is like a yellow colour. Now, there we are. Just a little bit of colour there. Let's get a bit of orange into this, shall we? Let's get a bit of orange into this. Now then. Now I quite like this light area here. It's as if the light is hitting those tree tops over there, and I quite like that. So I'm going to leave that. And plenty of other people say, "Oh no, go right up to the top." Well, that's fine. That's exactly, if that's what you want, you do it that way. It's always good to experiment. Do one like this and one right up to the top there. There we are. There we are. Now, we're going to do the same. The same with this. Let's hope this is... I'll just dab that out a bit. Give it a bit of texture anyway, won't it? And it'll give it a bit of drying for us. There we are. So, green bit down here first. Bit of green bit there. It's a mixture of green and orange really, that, isn't it? There we go. Let's get a bit more green at the bottom there. There we are. Bit more green over here. Oh wow, it's just slowly drying. Slowly drying. So we've got time to do this. There we are. Now we'll add a little bit of the yellow over to the top part here. There's quite a lot of orange in that actually. Let's add a bit more yellow to this. Oh, maybe a bit of that pinky as well. Now, let these colours run into each other. That's going to do our painting for us. Let them roll together. Do the heavy lifting. Alright. Right now, let's leave it at that for 5 minutes, eh? Go and have a cup of tea. Right, now while that's drying, I don't want to use the hairdryer on this. I like to let things dry naturally when I get that opportunity. So I'm going to put a really warm roof here. At the moment I'm using a bit of this opera rose, and it's got a bit of brown in there, a bit of burnt sienna in there as well. That's two good colours to mix. Let's try this just over the top part here. Let's get a nice sharp line over there and one down there. And let's get one over here as well. Now, with a damp brush, I'm going to just tease those colours down. Just tease them down a little bit. And we've got to put a straight line over there because we've got windows in here. And these windows, which are drawn with pencil, they're just a guideline. Don't be getting all upset if you've not gone up to the line. Use it as a guideline. And one big line across there. And if you noticed, I've not actually gone up to my guidelines there. And I'm going to cut down there as we have a bit of a, I want to create like a negative shape here, negative painting there. So it looks like these bushes that are going to be there are quite bushy. Now then, just to enhance that, I think I'll put a little bit of, this is burnt sienna, and just drop it in. Drop it in over the top there, and let that run down a bit. There we go. And it's got, now I want it to be quite dark at the bottom, so I'm going to add a little bit of this colour here, just to the bottom there. Just a shadow there. There we go. So it's darker at the bottom than it is at the top. Right, now we'll move on to this next one. And this is just like a very light building, a white building. So I'm just going to use some shadow on here to emphasize different parts. Now, remember the light is coming from that angle, so at this part here, I want to make that a little darker. This has got a big lump of bead there, so I'm going to just lift that out. There we go. Lift it out with the tip of your brush. There we are. That's easy, isn't it? Now here's the point where we can put a couple of windows in here. And all we're going to do, we're just going to indicate that these are windows. We're not going to put all the window panes in or anything like that. And we can actually indicate that there's a balcony there. So with the very tip of your brush, just a couple of things there. We don't have to do every single one. And underneath there, a little bit more pigment, I think. There we go. Because it's going to dry lighter. Now that's done its work there. Now what I'm going to do now is create some greens and some oranges to create like a sense of bushes over here. We'll have some soft edges and some harsh edges. There we go. Let's get. I'm just using any old green colour here. I started off with a bit of phthalo green light, and there we are. Let's just put some little ideas of brushes there. If you want to, you can use any like a fancy brush. You can use. I'm going to use this little square tip brush. Let's just have a look at what happens. And you can do that. Put these little, just to indicate the way that these are flowing. That's just an idea. But for what I want to do is I want to add some different colours in here. We can do that on the second layer, I think. There we go, got a bit of warm colour there. And at the bottom part, I'm going to use a bit of burnt olive green at the bottom part here. It needs to be quite dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna with that. And bring that round there. And this is just the first layer. Just the first layer here. So don't worry so much about getting it to look absolutely bang on. Don't worry. We're going to put a shadow layer on there in a bit, which is going to bring everything to the front, and it will all make sense. It's all about layers, watercolour. Being patient and thinking, yeah, that layer will do for there, and we're going to just add to that in a bit when that's dried. There we go, nice and simple. And I'm mixing it up now and again. Now and again I'll pop into the green colours. Let's rinse that. Oh, that's a bit of that. Oh, it's that gold green. There we are. Put that in there. These are all different kinds of shades of green. There are loads of greens that you can get on the market, all readily mixed up for you. And but you can alter your own greens by giving yourself a basic green colour and adding a little bit of warm colour with it. And if you add a bit of warm colour, like brown, to a regular, I'll show you, this is phthalo green, here's my phthalo green. If you add a bit of warm to that, it becomes olive green. There we are. And we just, now and again, leave a little bit of white. It just shows the direction. Now here, it's not quite dried there. I have to be pretty careful. But even if I do lose an edge, it's not a problem. In fact, I'm going to do that just to show you I'm not that worried about it. There we go, we've got a nice lost edge there. And a very careful edge there. There we are. It's no big deal, is it? End of the day, sure blinking painting. Bit of any old green was going to go here now. As we get to the edge here and get to the end, and this is going to be a lovely sandy colour. It's like you've gone to the beach in autumn. One September day or October, we've nipped over to the beach and this is what you see. Let's have a bit of warmth there. There we are. Right, so that's very nice so far. Now we need a big brush to create some sand. So I'm gonna just clean that brush. Give yourself a clean area to work in. And in here I'm gonna put some lovely warm colours. Some like yellowy colour and a bit of this goldy colour. Let's try the goldy colour first. Now, what do you think? Do you think we should let that dry first? I'll tell you what, let's let that dry first before we go ahead with this.